Alright guys, so just to get to the point real quick, Respawn has officially lost it. I'm not sure if you guys have been on social media, on Twitter, on Reddit, on YouTube, but recently Respawn gave some very interesting information about, the current stats of legends in this game, and I'll talk more about that very soon. But just to kind of skim over what was really talked about, the biggest takeaway right now is that Respawn is planning to nerf Octane. Yes, Octane, not Wraith, not Horizon, not Pathfinder, not Gibby, not Caustic, but Octane. Not even Revenant, Octane. I never thought the day would come that Respawn would actually even be considering nerfing Octane, because to me, Octane has never really been a legend that needed to get nerfed. Even right now, I would say Octane is still a very, decent legend. He isn't insane. He definitely doesn't need a nerf though. He definitely doesn't need any kind of nerfs right now in this game, but for some reason Respawn thinks that Octane needs to get nerfed. And this goes back to the exact same pattern that Respawn seems to follow. Every time Respawn buffs a legend, it takes them like, I don't know, 1 month to decide that legend needs to get nerfed. The exact same thing took place with Horizon. Obviously Respawn has also done that with Pathfinder and Wraith, and now it seems like Octane is next up. So we're going to be talking about what Respawn had to say about the current legend stats and the legend rankings right now, or should I say what the lead game designer at Respawn had to say, Daniel Klein, because he was the one who basically gave this information. I'm going to read what he said word for word so you guys can't tell me how I'm misquoting him. I'm going to say exactly what he said, and obviously towards the end of the video give you guys my thoughts as well. But before we do that guys, we're on the road to 50k subs right now, so if you still haven't hit that sub button, I'd appreciate it so much. A single sub goes a very long way on YouTube, and also hit that like button as well. It really helps out the video. And also let me know your thoughts on Octane's upcoming nerf. Do you think Octane needs to get nerfed, or do you think Octane is in a very balanced state right now? What are your thoughts? As I said, I feel like Octane is in a perfect state. He doesn't need to get nerfed. He just got good. Like, he literally just got good in season 8, and Respawn was already thinking of nerfing Octane. So what are your thoughts on an Octane nerf? Let me know. Alright guys, so all of this started over on Reddit. It seems like with Apex especially, we get so much information, we get so much revelations, we get so much drama on Reddit for some reason, and this right here is no exception. Basically what was taking place is Daniel Klein, who as I said is the lead game designer at Respawn, was responding to some fans about questions about the legend stats right now, win rate, encounter win rate, all of that stuff, right? So someone asked Daniel Klein this, right? I'm curious, how does Fuse's win rate, encounter rate, etc. look like? He's certainly fun to use, but is he OP, weak, or balanced according to your data? Also, how is Rampart holding up? I'd wager her win rate is still at the bottom of the barrel and could definitely use a spicy power up. So this person didn't even really ask about Octane, he asked about Rampart and Fuse. I'm gonna read Daniel Klein's full response. He obviously mentions Fuse and Rampart, and he also mentions Octane. So take a listen guys, take a listen. Rampart is the second lowest in our win rate data across all skill buckets. The only one below her is Fuse. We have some plans for him, Fuse, but nothing's 100% yet. But yeah, he didn't come in super strong like we wanted. It's still very hard to predict how strong a character will be unless they have meaningful mobility, Octane or Horizon. We've got to be careful not to fall victim to mobility creep as well. The more general mobility there is, the less fun the game becomes for everyone, because you just can't hit people. This is why we're removing some of that power from Horizon. We're just reducing how quickly you can wriggle back and forth as you go up a gravity lift to make tracking her a little easier. So he did mention Horizon as well. He also went on to talk about Octane, right? And he said, Octane's pretty trackable in my opinion, but we need to hit him a little bit. He's become extremely dominant to no one's surprise, so we need to shave a little power off. I think I found a reasonably fun, neutral way of doing so. I'm currently thinking about increasing the health cost for his stim, but letting you stim again much sooner. There's currently a 3 to 4 second delay between the old stim running out and you being able to stim again. This is kind of a buff if you look at just the speed at which you move, but taken together with the increased health cost, it'll allow you to drop your health real low real fast. I always thought Stim's health cost was a fun way to pay for power with life that was tuned too softly to matter. So that was a mouthful guys. That was of a lot of information in that one response from Daniel Klein. The big takeaways is that one, Fuse is the worst character in this game right now in terms of win rate and encounter win rate and stuff, which isn't a surprise. Fuse is honestly not a very good legend guys. I said this way back when he first released. Fuse isn't good, we know this. Rampart is still pretty low as well. Respawn is going to, you know, change Horizon's gravity lift, which I think makes sense because it is kind of ridiculous right now. And I'm also a Horizon main, so me actually admitting that is very big. Horizon does need a very small nerf again to gravity lift. But Daniel Klein mentioning Octane caught everyone by surprise, and I mean everyone, because if you go on Twitter right now, all of the content creators are kind of shocked that Respawn is actually considering nerfing Octane, because as I said, Octane was always such a weak legend. You know, he always needed to get some buffs, and as soon as Respawn buffs him in season 8, they want to make some more changes. I'm not sure what data Respawn is seeing. Well, let me not say that. Respawn obviously needs to rely on data, but they shouldn't rely too heavily on data to make all of their, you know, decisions, because right now, obviously Octane's, you know, pick rate, his win rate will be very high because he was just buffed. Everyone is using him a lot now. So I think what Respawn needs to do is just, you know, wait some time before they decide to make any serious nerfs. And also Respawn should not be announcing these things, because yes, we want transparency, right? And yes, we want Respawn to be honest with us, but I feel like Respawn should know that Octane has been in a terrible state for almost 6 or 7 seasons, right? People have been begging Respawn to buff Octane way before he was buffed in season 8. And it took him a while to even get to where he is right now. So just the simple fact that Daniel Klein even mentioned that a Octane nerf is in the works, to me was kind of a misstep. Even if we take a look right now at the Octane Revenant meta, right? The real issue here isn't Octane. Octane's jump pad isn't the issue. The issue in that scenario is actually Revenant. Revenant's out, I should say, not Octane. You know, I've been somebody to always kind of, you know, talk bad about Octane in the past, because Octane to me was always a very useless character to have, especially as a random, because if a random is on my team, right, and they have Octane, because he had no kind of like, you know, team value, it just didn't make any sense for me to want a Octane on my team. But now with all of Octane's recent changes, I actually do not mind having Octanes on my team. It hasn't even been a full season yet, and Respawn is already talking about nerfing Octane, which to me is crazy. And there was actually a very similar situation back in January when Daniel Klein was talking about how Caustic was one of the weakest legends in the game. When he actually said that, everyone basically went in an uproar and said that Caustic can never be weak, Caustic is insane. And obviously then 2 weeks later, Daniel Klein came back and said that, okay, he made a mistake, Caustic is actually not the weakest. So I'm not sure if these devs who make these legend changes actually play Apex on a consistent basis, because, and this isn't meant to be in any way hateful guys, but I feel like if you play Apex a lot and you actually play these individual legends, you could easily tell that Octane right now is not OP. He's not, he's simply not. There's not one part of Octane's kit that seems anywhere remotely close to being OP. Is he effective? Yes. Is he fun to use? Yes. Is he OP? No. And I feel like all it really takes to actually see this is just a couple of games in Apex. Like it's really not that difficult to see. So hopefully Respawn reverses this change or reverses their thought process on this, because I feel like everyone is going to be very upset if Respawn actually goes through with this and brings us a Octane nerf in season 9, especially since they just buffed Octane in season 8. They also talked about, you know, buffing Fuse and Rampart, which to me is alright. I mean, Fuse is actually terrible, so a Fuse buff to me does make sense. Rampart is actually improving slowly, so I won't be mad if Respawn gives her a very small buff again. Horizon's gravity lift nerf to me seems alright as well, but Octane's nerf is just, that doesn't make sense. That just does not make sense. I know so many Octane mains watching this video that just agree with me, because Octane does not need to get nerfed just because people actually play him a lot. Just because a certain legend is played a lot doesn't make them OP. And I hope Respawn comes to their senses and figures out that very simple fact. A highly played legend doesn't make them OP. So yeah guys, what are your thoughts on this possible Octane nerf? Are you an Octane main? Do you think Octane is insane? What do you think of this? And also, what do you think of all of the other legends that Daniel Klein talked about? So Horizon, Fuse, and Rampart. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I read every single comment, as I always say, and it's true, I do read all of my comments. So don't be shy guys, what are your thoughts? I hope you guys enjoyed as always. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in some more Apex. Till next time.